All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm in a pretty good mood today. All right. I'm in a pretty good mood because we have just hit a milestone on this YouTube channel. Okay. 1,313 views and counting on the last video, right? And guys, you're probably thinking, okay, that's not a lot. There are some YouTubers who aren't even famous who post a video and they get that in an hour. Yeah, I know. And look, big goals, right? Long term goals on this YouTube channel. I want to hit 1 million views. 1 million views, like I said before, that would be incredible. That would be like, okay, yeah, sweet. I'll fucking do anything you want within reason. But you got to appreciate the little milestones. You have to appreciate the little stepping stones before you get to the top of the mountain or whatever the fuck you're climbing, right? And you know, in comparison to the previous 7 videos before that, look, 151 views, 205 views, 194, 178, 187, 176, 240, 359, 642. Like, we hadn't broke that 1,000. I wanted to get that, and we hit it on the weekend. And guys, it's just good. And I appreciate everybody who watched it. I appreciate everyone who's watched so far, and I appreciate the comments because there was a lot of comments, 200 comments. A lot of them were me. Actually, let me before I go into what I'm going to talk about today, let me talk about this video quick because I was wondering why it popped in a way. And I think maybe it was because the headline, or should I say, on the thumbnail and the caption, like Jews do not run the world. I think a lot of people disagreed with that, and a lot of people commented, by the way, talking shit about it and saying they disagree or whatever. But none of them could really explain why. Because I think I made some interesting points. I made the point: they don't control Russia, they don't control China, they don't control Africa. They barely. I mean, they don't control Europe. That's for sure. Because if you talk about bad about Jews, then that's cool. If you talk bad about Muslims, you go to prison, or you get attacked by the fucking government for hate crimes or whatever. Then basically comes down to the fact that by the world, these small-minded Western people see the world as United States only. Which, okay, I get it. They haven't been about, they haven't traveled. That's cool. But even so, then it's like I said, well, do they really control the West? Because I mean, do they really control America? Because I don't think so. It seems more like, and now I guess we're talking about Israel rather than just the Jews itself. But it's like, well, it seems more likely that America controls Israel than the other way around. Because if Israel can control America, then why can't they control Iran? I mean, America's the most powerful country on the planet, so they can control that, but they can't control fucking Iran. They can't. They can't. They can barely, fight a fucking conflict with their terrorist neighbors without getting heat all over the world. I mean, that doesn't seem like fucking, um, you know, high elites on the world stage to me. That doesn't seem like that. Um, and then they'll say, oh, because a lot of people comment, oh, well, Trump pulled the chair out for Bibi Netanyahu, therefore he's his bitch. And it's like, well, no, actually, he pulled the second time, he pulled the chair out and got Benjamin Netanyahu to sign a deal on the tariffs, reducing all the tariffs against the United States. So he had a win there. You pulled the chair back to save your country billions and billions. I mean, or hundreds of millions. Let's just say hundreds of millions. I mean, that seems like, isn't that what you'd want your leader to do? I don't know. Maybe you guys just don't want him to do a good job, which is cool. But don't act like it's the fucking Jews. Just admit you don't like Trump, right? Uh, Someone just commented. I haven't seen this yet. So Judaism is disgusting and evil. No one can forget the images of all the innocent children being machine gunned for the gang rape of innocent children by the IDF captured. What a fucking idiot! What a fucking idiot! That's just stupid, guys. There are so many fucking bad takes on it. And by the way, I appreciate everyone for commenting, but like I said to you guys, if you disagree, and by you I mean the guys in the comments, like if you disagree, then we'll debate. Like let's have a conversation. Like I'll hear you out. If you make a good point, I promise you, my mind can be changed on basically everything. Basically everything. But no one's doing it, and no one's debating. They'll comment. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm an ignorant child. Okay, but then they won't message. They won't go on a live. So listen, fuck them. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for that. But I have more ranting to do. So I saw this video. Which one is it? Let me find it. This video here, right? So just to give you a bit of context, right? There was a London Marathon on the weekend, and there was this fucking idiot who tried to protest it. He threw some, I can't remember what color it was, but he threw some like spray thing, or the type of stuff that the Just Stop Oil guys do, right? And maybe it was a gas of some kind. But this fucking guy is then, because of Palestine, and it just feeds into the video I just did, right? And it's like, I'll show you this video and I'll break down why this guy is fucking spasticated, to put it in British terms. This guy's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking retard. And here he is.
Hi, I'm Willow. I'm 18 and I'm from Bristol.
He's from Bristol. That says it all. Oh god. He's from Bristol. Guaranteed to be indoctrinated by the Bristol University.
I'm taking action with youth demand because I cannot sit back and watch a live stream genocide. Every time I open my phone, I see footage from Gaza of limp bodies being dragged out of buildings and rubble covering the Palestinians' land. How can we sit back while our government is funding a genocide? I've been arrested during a symbolic action at the London Marathon. I've chosen to do this because thousands of people are dying, and I refuse to be made complicit by the government. Our government is breaking international law by selling weapons to Israel, by supporting a state that is using starvation.
Let me stop it here real quick. So, one, you're saying that they are complicit in a genocide. No, they're doing business with a company that is in a conflict, and you don't like that side, right? That's the difference, right? Do business with a country. Did I say company? Country. Do business with a country, right? Second of all, I just want to acknowledge this point, because this is what really pisses me off about these fucking idiots online. It's like they say, oh, they are going against international law, right? And it's like, are you just trying to be controlled by a fucking a globalist agenda? Like, what do you mean international law, bro? Let me tell you something about international law. And this is going to sound bad, right? But international law doesn't matter unless you are the little guy. Do you understand? Like, the international law is bullshit, right? If the International Criminal Court, and I broke this down before, if they put out an arrest warrant, right, for Benjamin Netanyahu, which is, for those who don't know, Prime Minister of Israel, and the United States say no, well, then there's no fucking arrest warrant, okay? It is bullshit. Like, these people the guys in the International Criminal Court, and this is about the power, and this is what really pisses me off. These guys have no idea how much we are being controlled. You want to talk about, and this actually goes back to the comments, you want to talk about who's running the world, yet the international courts, right, the international law, the law that tells not people what to do, right? This is above that in the target of the aim of the courts internationally, the ICC, is to be above normal court. This is to tell countries what to do. This is the court of people who are unelected, right? So this is the elites that you're talking about, right? These are the ones who are really running the world, or trying to run the world, luckily, we're not actually going along with that. He should be celebrating the fact that we're breaking international law, right? Because the international law is the real elites, and they're trying to go after Israel and the Jews. So does that mean that and this is what's fun, like, does this mean that they are being controlled by the Jews? Because according to everyone in the comments on my last video, the Jews run the world. And this is the same thing. This is the thing that all of these fucking idiots online, and okay, maybe they're not idiots in other sectors, right? But you have people like fucking all the Americans of the podcast, Candace, this and shit, but Dan Bilzerian, but Myron, who I like, by the way, and shout out to him. But on Israel, I disagree. It's like they say the Jews are running the world, but the international criminal courts, the courts, and the international law, the law that is telling other countries what to do, trying to tell the whole of Europe what to do and the UK what to do. And if they could, they would tell the United States. If they listened under Trump, they're not going to, thank God, right? They're the ones going after the Jews. So how the fuck does that make sense? Which one is it? Is it? Do you listen to the International Criminal Court, or is it the Jews behind closed doors? What is it? And by the way, Russia don't listen to the International Criminal Court. China don't listen to the International Criminal Court. I guarantee you that these African countries don't give a fuck, right? Because there's genocide, real genocide. No one's going to talk about that. North Korea don't listen to it. So who's listening? The little guys in Europe. That's who's listening, right? Like, I'm not going to say, maybe I'm not going to say these are little guys in Europe, but like Germany or France or fucking, I don't know, Luxembourg. Like, these are the people who listen to the International Criminal Court. It is a world order, globalist power play, right? That I am so glad that the UK are not listening to, even if it was something I agree with, by the way. This is the thing, like this guy, and this is what's happened with a lot of people, because they agree with the issue at heart, they will accept an unelected force to completely control, the world or Europe or their country. It's bullshit. Let me continue this video. Sorry, that was a rant, but I had to say it because it's just fucking stupid. It's bigger than, like, that statement alone is bigger than the whole of Israel, Gaza situation. This is just like you guys are just asking to be controlled. It's fucking stupid. Here you go.
As a weapon of war to ethnically cleanse the Palestinian people. Look, I understand the reality of this. This action is going to piss off a lot of people, but we have to realize what we're facing here. Our government has taken no effort to relieve the suffering of the Palestinians. They've shown that they barely care about people in their own country, and we demand better. We demand that the government end all trade with Israel. We need more people in resistance now, more than ever. Sign up at youth-demand.
Okay, now let's go to the video at heart. Let me show, because I feel like you need to see the... Here's a video of... I'm going to play a video of him. I'll have it on your screens, right? Of him throwing this ruining the marathon, right? This is him ruining the marathon.
The UK Labour government is complicit in enabling a genocide in Palestine. We continue to provide arms to Israel. The genocidal state of Israel. We are breaking UK domestic law and international law by supplying Israel with arms. Stop the genocide. Stop arming Israel.
Smile. And it's like, why would you do that? Like this is what I'm saying. It's like, these people are so, they're spoiled. That's what they are. They're spoiled. They're so used to getting their way that they think that by being angry like a little kid, you're gonna, and having a tantrum and ruining the fun for everybody else on a good day. Like, I'm not the type of guy who runs a marathon, but I understand marathons. They're you know, it's people getting together. It's healthy. Most people give it the money to charity, or they think they're giving it to charities. I won't get into the ins and outs of the corrupt nature of charities. But either way, people are trying to do a good thing. They're trying to have a good time, and you're ruining it. These guys they're running, right? They're running. You're getting in the way of what they're doing. They've been training for months and months and months to perform in London, and you just ruin it. Like, let's just say you wanted people on your side. Like, why would you ruin why would you try to ruin their day? Why would you try to, that's not how it works, okay? Like, you've never done business deals or something, or anything, it doesn't matter what it is. You're trying to convince someone to believe in you and your side, like actually ruining their day, or attempting to, is never going to work. If anything, it's going to make people think you're a fucking idiot, and they're going to do everything they can to not be on your side. Also, what do you think that's going to do anyway? Like, this is the thing with protests, right? Unless you're protesting against something that is actually happening in your country, right? Like here, like it's happening in here, this soil, this land. Then, other than that, the protests are fucking stupid. Like, what do you want them to do? Like, you think the UK has any power on Israel right now? We're not talking about in the 40s. We're not. We're talking about today, right now. You think they can? You think England has? And by the way, this upsets me. Well, okay, upset's a strong word, but I actually do get upset that England can't sort of ring up a country and just tell them what's what. Right? We have to accept the fact that we've lost that for now. This government is not the government that's going to do that anyway. So you're crazy to think that protesting about fucking Palestine is going to do anything. It's going to change anything. And trying to ruin the London Marathon is just stupid. But not as stupid as this guy, which is my way of transitioning into the next story I have here. So, as you guys know, actually, I don't know if you know, the Supreme Court in the UK ruled that a woman is an adult human female, which, obviously. And they're basically saying that transgenderism is basically saying it's not real. It's not real, which I'm happy about. But a lot of people aren't, and it's funny because this is what's going to divide the left in the UK. Like, this is what's going to turn people off of Labour, and I get it. Same with this guy here. Like, from a political terms, right? Like, if I'm looking at like Labour Party as the government that I don't want in power, then I should be seeing this fucking this like left-wing kid, who's anti-Palestine, having to go at this government. I should be saying, oh, that's great. And I should be seeing these, which I'm going to show you in a sec, a load of people protesting against the government because apparently they're transphobic now. I should be saying, oh, that's good. That's good news for like me and my political views, because that gives, maybe Reform UK a better chance of winning in an election. But I don't look at it like that. I don't like seeing the chaos. And I don't like seeing the protest necessarily, but this here is just stupid, right? So I'll show you some videos, right? But it's basically just people protesting against trans, like liberal and proud, trans men and men. They all have the same fucking sign. But basically wait, is this a man or a woman? What the fuck? Oh, this is a bloke. I thought it was a girl. Charlie Murphy, Lib Dem parliamentary spots for Portsmouth. Okay. Anyway. Oh, fuck. He has some bad head. Jesus Christ. Okay, this is an ugly guy. Sorry, guys. This is an ugly guy. He posts this, right? Infringing trans people's right to exist with dignity and safety will not make a difference to the problem of men's violence against women. Parliament must urgently update legislation following the Supreme Court's ruling trans men are men, trans women are women. And it's like, I read this and I think, you are so, again, maybe not in all aspects, but if you think this, then you probably are. But you are stupid. Charlie Murphy, you are fucking stupid if you think that this Supreme Court ruling, of trans men and trans women not being actual men and women, and that if you are a trans man, you're a woman. If you're a trans woman, you're a man, right? If you think that this is about women's violence, you are fucking stupid and delusional, and you are going to lose forever in all aspects if you cannot identify the cause of people's, complete sidelining of the trans movement, and just suddenly, like, overnight. Does anyone notice this? And in the UK, it just feels like maybe since November last year, when a certain someone in the United States got into power again, that suddenly all the trans stuff no one gives a fuck anymore, no one believes it, and everyone's saying, yeah, no, that's a bloke, that's a bloke, that's a bloke, not a girl, not in the girls' toilets, not around my kids, not in our sports, not in our changing rooms, fuck off, basically, right? Yes, the women's violence, right? Trying to prevent the women's violence caused by men, which some of them would call trans women, but that's bullshit. That is a small part of the issue, and an important part, very important. But the actual issue is the fact that it's fucking delusional and stupid, and that the idea of a trans person is completely fucking ridiculous, right? But the thing that I've always found interesting is that it's the people who are always like pro-trans are the people who are like completely anti-religion and pro-science. They believe in like the Big Bang Theory, evolution, all of these sort of things. Like the sort of the scientific type of people, right? They don't believe in the God and everything. They look at Christians and everything as stupid, right? But when it comes to biological sex, right? Like the idea of gender, they are living in la la land. So I said, like, part of the reason is, one, the government, because of Trump, the government can finally say it, right? But also because they know that if they don't, two reasons actually, if they do not, in the UK, suddenly start dropping all the woke bullshit, they know that, one, they're not going to stay in power because everyone's going to say this is bullshit. Everyone's going to say this is bullshit, especially with the red wave in the United States. But two, countries like Russia and China are just going to be, and India, they are going to look at us. I mean, they already do, but they're going to really laugh at us. And like this is the thing that people don't understand. And this goes back to the last kid. I don't know what his views on trans shit are, but he looks like a fucking gay boy because of his haircut. So let's just say he's pro-trans, but maybe he's not. Let's just say you want your country to be the type of country, which a lot of people do, right? You want your country to be the type of country that can ring Israel or tell Israel, fucking stop it. If that's what you want our country to do that. You think Israel would listen to us if the fucking we had trans women in women's toilets, which is a man? Like you like what you want, right? You want two different things. You want us to tell Israel to stop, but you also want us to have fucking men dressed as women being accepted and called women, even though they have fucking 9-inch cocks. Pardon my French. Like, that's not gonna those two things don't work. Do you understand? Why do you think that the Biden administration in the United States, for the last 4 years before Trump, right, they could not tell Russia what to do? Why do you think? Because they had all the trans, but I'm not saying that's the only reason, but that's a huge reason. When you look fucking crazy, the other countries are not going to take you seriously. So I think it's great that the UK had done this. It's late, and it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because it's safe and it's not brave. And even then, the government right now, the Keir Starmer didn't even, he did not say any of this stuff And then as soon as the court rules it, he's like, oh, well, the court's saying a woman is an adult human female. He wouldn't have answered the question before. But even then, I'm happy that it's happened, Also, this woman as well. Again, stupid people who have never been checked and don't know anything about the real world. Sorry. This is a Labour MP, right? This is I don't know what show she's on, but I'll play the clip for you anyway. Here we go.
What I'm very concerned about is the impact that this judgment, and particularly the discussion following the judgment and the interpretation of the judgment, will have on trans people. This is a group of people, a tiny percentage of the population, who are already demonised and dehumanised.
If they're a tiny percent of the population, why would we cater to them by changing the actual definitions of biology, changing life as we know it, everything we knew about men and women, just change it for the small percentage? That's one point.
By large parts of the media and politicians. And what trans people are saying to me is that, look, put yourself in our shoes. We are now being told by politicians that if we need to use the public toilet, we have two options. So for a trans woman, for example, either you use the men's toilets, which is what they're now being told, which puts them at risk of violence, but at the very least means outing themselves.
What do you mean it puts them at risk of violence? Now this goes back to the point that, again, I said it's a small point, right? But it's still an important point that the woman was, or what was it, the Liberal Democrat guy who just made the statement I just read out to you about it's not about the violence. No, it's not about violence. But she's saying that, and this is how fucking delusional they are. They don't understand the fucking flaws and the holes in their own arguments. There are sentences coming out of their own mouths, and it's like they don't hear themselves when they speak. Right? This fucking lady just said, right, that a trans woman going into the men's toilets puts them at risk of violence. So a trans woman is a man. So a man going to a man's toilet puts him at risk of violence, but has no issue when a actual woman is in the risk of violence with a trans woman, which is a man. They again, ladies, and this is the thing you need to understand. If you're a parent and you have kids, you have a little girl, you have daughters, like, these people don't actually care about the safety. They don't care. They're virtue signalers. They're weak and pathetic. Could you imagine this lady being in charge of, like, the country? Could you imagine this lady trying to, and let's just say you want to, again, we'll go back, I'll use Israel as a point because a lot of people probably agree with it, that Israel should be stopped. I personally don't see it as like that, but could you imagine her calling Israel, telling them to stop doing whatever, the genocide that they label it as? Fuck me. Oh my God.
Or they use the women's toilets, as they have been, without any problem for decades. But because of the circus surrounding issues of trans rights, they're at greater risk of being harassed by people who have kind of taken it upon themselves to be the gender police.
It's okay. When you say taken it upon themselves, it's like, yeah, people take it upon themselves to be the gender police. They shouldn't have to, but they do. People take it upon themselves to stop, pedophiles. They shouldn't have to, but they have to. People take it upon themselves to build locks, to lock their doors to stop their stuff, their houses being invaded. Like, there's a load of things that people shouldn't have to do, right? Because most people understand that it's wrong. You understand? Most people understand that it's wrong to kill, right? But some people don't. So we have to make sure that they understand that it's not okay. We have to tell them. We have to tell them it's laws, right? The whole reason you have, older, not the new age laws of the bullshit, but don't kill someone, don't steal someone, don't fucking sexually assault them. Men, stay away from them little girls while they're going to the toilet. That's their place to go to the toilet. You want to go to the toilet, you go to the toilet with the other men. Stay out of their space. Like, yeah, because there are fucking stupid people, small percentage of the population, like she just said, right, who have to be told. You know, they have to be told. And she says this circus issue. It's like, no, the trans issue is the circus. Like the circus issue of the trans rights. Like, no, trans people are the circus. Trans people are the fucking circus. It's crazy. And it's like, she says, oh, they've been going to the toilet, they've been going in the women's toilet for years with no issues. It's like, there has been issues. And like, here's the thing. The issues don't have to be great. And maybe this makes me a feminist. But as soon as one single woman, right? One single woman or a little girl or whatever is uncomfortable with a man dressed as a woman, claiming to be a woman in the women's toilets, then that is big enough issue to end the whole fucking thing. Okay? Because it's not fair. Women, there has always been a problem with it. Women don't like it, right? But they were just too scared to tell the bloke that they were in the toilets with to get out. And the ones who did have the bravery to stand up for the women around them, okay, they got demonized by you. Like people, this is what's funny. Girls and women, they talk about being a girl's girl and standing up for women and everything. It's like, stand up for your fucking, I'm not the type of guy who says this, but stand up for your sisters, you know? There's girls in the toilet who are fucking uncomfortable, and you care more about this fucking bloke who's living in cuckoo land of delusional ladyboy shit. It's pathetic. It is pathetic. You should be fucking disgusted. And let me tell you something. There's a guy here. This is a video that I'm going to end with. It's heartbreaking, in a way. I'm not saying it's 100% accurate, but the idea of it, you will understand. This guy is disgusted, okay? Watch this fucking video, people. This is what really gets me. This is like half of the reason I like doing this show, is because I don't want to end up like this guy. And I feel fucking sick that this guy ends up the way he has. Look, let me show you this.
I am lost in a rainbow, no rainbow is gone.
Now this is look, I'm not saying this guy was in the war or anything like that, but it is a representation of the generations before us who went through hardship. Absolute hardship, okay? Not just men, but men went to war, women fought to be protected and for rights, okay? Women fought. They fought to vote. They fought for. Okay, they had. I'm not the type of guy who said they didn't have respect or dignity, but what I'm saying is they fought to be heard more. You know, like the right to vote is really them saying we want to be heard and listened to. And you guys, older guys, they built the infrastructure, they built everything. They put us on the world map. They put us at the fucking top of the world. Just for these people trying to rip it all down. These people who hate England, they don't care about women because they basically did everything. They've gone again. You had that I just showed you the video of the Labour MP who's trying to pick men dressed as women over women, right? So there's your women's rights gone, okay? And then, this guy, maybe he went to war, maybe he didn't. But you're looking back, you're thinking, what was it all for? Why the fuck, this is what really winds me up. I think of the people, the fallen soldiers. Okay, I grew up in an army town. I'm not from that. I grew up next to an army town. And I understand the military not well, but I understand it, and I just always think about war, conflict. I mean, history is all war and conflict, really. And it's like, what was it all for? You know, what was it for? If you'd have said to them that this was the outcome, an MP, a member of parliament, trying to say that a man should go into the women's toilets, and have the audacity to say that we're the crazy ones. It's fucking insane. Listen, let me do a quick update on the how many views has this got? Let me go back to that video. Okay, 5 more views. Okay, nice. 1,317 views and counting. Guys, I'm not saying this video has to get it. Maybe it gets more, maybe it gets 100. I don't know. But listen, I just want to say a big fucking thank you. And if you've watched it to this long, please just like the video. You know, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And, look out for the next video, because there's more coming. There's more coming. You know, I've been a bit busy and everything. But yeah, big things coming. Hopefully big things coming. If I can stay consistent, I think I will and I can. But we're in it together. So, yeah, with that, I appreciate you watching. And guys, I'll see you next time. All right. Thank you very much.